Hey guys, Hoster here, and today I'll be covering the patch 1.3.0.0 Oryxmas 2020. First off, we have the new item forge. If you haven't heard about it, I can summarize it real quick. So first off, you can craft most UTs in the game by dismantling other UTs of similar value for the three types of material. Note that it's not going to be one-to-one, so don't try and transfer all your Queen Stinger daggers into divinities, as it won't work one-to-one. In order to craft UTs, aside from needing the materials, you also have to have its blueprint unlocked. Some are enabled by default, so you don't really have to worry about that, but you do have to get the blueprints. You also need a daily recharging forge fire in order to craft these items. The forge fire requirement scales with the rarity of the item you're crafting. Most of the item forge things, including blueprints and the item forge rechargers, can be either purchased in Nexus for gold or fame via the mystery boxes or the Nexus shops. You also may need marks from the dungeon the drop is associated with, like I know for the crown you need Shatters marks. For Oryx 3, there's now Oryx 3 marks for crafting most of the things, and some event whites that correlate with dungeons, like the tablet, requires Shatters marks as well. So that's it for the item forge. Let's move on to the next thing. So we have quick slots. Now you can put any consumable inside your formerly HP MP slots in order to quickly use the item. This is really good for things like Royal Jelly, Healing Ichor, Drakes, Effusions. You can just press your hotkey. I believe it's C by default for the new slot. The new slot is unlocked with a belt similar to a backpack. It's for that character. I'm assuming if you die, it just deletes the belt. You probably get them from the campaign, mystery boxes, gold, stuff like that. Next up, we have the three new reworked dungeons: the Crawling Depths, the Woodland Labyrinth, and the Toxic Sewers. No longer do you have to suffer through early Deca and post-MSellers Kabam content. Deca did a good job of reworking them at some point, but now they've done an even better job of completely overhauling the C-Depths and the Wood Lab. Hopefully the D-Docks soon to come, although it's not a terrible dungeon. Next up, they have changed Godlands to no longer spawn the Lucky Ent and the Lucky Djinn at the start. Instead, there is a rare chance to get a lucky version of every single god, including the two new gods, the Owl and the Spider. The Owl's going to drop the Wood Lab, the Spider's going to drop the C-Depths. Anyway, the lucky versions of each god has a guaranteed stat potion drop as well as a guaranteed dungeon drop, and like I said, they spawn rarely instead of at the start of the realm. So that's pretty cool. And they also introduced backpack trading. Finally, for the permanent content added this month is the Third Dimension dungeon. This dungeon is a semi-difficult dungeon that drops from a cube god, but it has 3 new white bags in there. Even if you're not going to run it for the use of the white bags, if you're collecting them, 3 new white bags, drops from a cube god. Pretty common drop rate according to Deca, but I think it looks really cool. It's definitely going to be worth running. Now let's switch gears into the Oryxmas events. First off, we have the campaign, which is available throughout the month. The tokens drop from most things, so be sure to slurp those up. You can also turn them in for Tinker rewards throughout the month, so you might want to do that. Go ahead and check out the Tinker quests. I'll put them up here on screen quickly, but definitely make sure if you want to activate the quests if you don't think you're going to be playing that much, or if you're going to grind it out, do the campaign definitely, because there's some sick rewards on there. As for events in the realm, here is the calendar for the entire month. Plenty of cool events, especially that Orcs Sanctuary free unlock near the end of the month there. Very nice. Maybe Mothership will do some O3s with me. We'll see. Anyway, there's 10 presents per realm in all the realms that drop loot. You got to run around and break them, similar to the eggs during Easter and the bone piles during the first Halloween event. After a certain amount of heroes die in the realm, another event that spawns is Snowy the Frost God. Basically, he is another event boss similar to the Permafrost Lord, in which you shoot him, he drops presents, and they drop loot. There is also a new boss called Jack Frost, which spawns once you use a specific amount of items on his spawn location of the realm, which is denoted on the minimap by a light blue dot. Crafting items drop from the snowman that run around the Godlands. I specifically like the cool snowman, because he's pretty cool. After defeating Jack Frost, be sure to break the little things that he spawns, because those can drop loot. But make sure to run around and kill all those guys so you can get things to craft him. He varies based on how you craft him and what you craft him with, so he can be pretty strong apparently, but sometimes he is just a nice little loot balloon. He drops Oryxmas weapons as well as a bunch of other festive goodies. Finally, some additional changes that Deca has added in. The Oryx Castle is icy again. Hopefully not through May this time, like, what was that, like 2015. There's also reskins of the event bosses, specifically the Rock Dragon is my favorite. He's a little reindeer. The reindeer eggs that have been dropping now have the stat bonuses back to them, as well as Shards of the Advisor are given from guild keys and most likely dropping from events here, as we see. That's pretty much it, aside from do not pop runes unless you know all the runes are going to be popped, because they will not drop back for you right now. So that is kind of interesting. Aside from that, this is a pretty cool update, so be sure to get on, check everything out, and get some fat loot. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.